Quebec to St. Foy. That's our stop for tonight. About halfway there to home, or like I want to call it, civilization. And as you can see, it's very foggy here. I actually asked the waitress at Brekkie this morning, says, is this normal? She says, yeah, pretty much every morning. She says, it'll roll out soon. She says, some days it's worse than others. So I guess, well, we are sort of on the ocean, Bay of Fundy, whatever. So I guess that's to be expected. So, yep, we're on our way. We might make a stop at a place called Grand Falls. This was recommended by one of the viewers. And it's a nice place. It's about 3 hours away from here. So at about that point, we'll need a rest anyways. So we might as well, I guess. Because this is about a 6 hour, 6.5 hour, 7 hour drive today to get to St. Foy. St. Foy is just a suburb of Quebec City, and that's where we're staying the night. So we're not doing any real sightseeing at that point. We just want to get home. We're done. Well, we've made it to Grand Falls, and actually it is quite grand. They're relatively spectacular looking. So I guess it was the drive, worth the drive to Grand Falls. It's only about 5 minutes off the beaten track from the highway, so and it's a good rest break. But yeah, they are it's quite picturesque. Walter's taking pictures of me. Okay, so there's this little lookout point. Oh, it's a zip line. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
It's a zip line. It's not an observation thing. So I guess you can zip across the falls. This is another view of the falls. Well, that's actually a view of Walter's head. Quite spectacular. So as Walter just said, that was a nice little detour to Grand Falls. It was very spectacular, and it's a cute little downtown, and I didn't take any pictures of their downtown core with it, but we did have to get gas, so we stopped and got gas at the Canadian Tire gas bar there. And yeah, so now we're on our way to
Quebec.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Yeah, Quebec. to on our way home. We're still quite a ways away, like about
350 kilometers.
350 kilometers.
This is Levi's, where it
Yeah.
says right, which is pretty close to where we're going.
Yeah. So we got a long journey ahead of us still, and yeah, and just as a moment here. Someone wrote a comment on the video I just put up and said, saying how bored we were in St. John. Said, didn't you look for any quill shops? Okay, I thought I mentioned in that video that I had, but maybe I didn't, or maybe somebody doesn't listen. But yeah, that was the first thing I did, was look for a quilt shop, and there aren't any listed for St. John. So I think the closest one might be someplace called Sussex and that kind of thing. So,
And that was about a 45-minute drive from St. John.
yeah.
So,
Okay, people, when I speak on these videos, I'm not speaking to hear myself. I do say things that you should listen to. Then you can avoid having to type in a question that's already been answered. But anyways, yeah, I definitely looked for a quilt shop in St. John, and absolutely no luck.
well, we did
there.
find a sewing store that had, for a garment sewing store, where that had, I bought a couple of patterns at. There were Canadian patterns I had mail ordered from a company out in BC before, and they had some in stock. So I thought, well, they had them in stock, I'll just grab a couple.
Now, I think I did mention that on the first video about
Yeah.
St. John as well, but they did have fabric, but not much. It was remnants. They're more of a sewing school.
Yeah.
And so I think, and she told me, yeah, I asked her, do you have any quilting cotton? She says, yeah, I might find some up in the remnants, but probably not much of a selection. She says these are just end cuts and things, and they get rid of them. So yeah, that's as close as we came to buying any kind of fabric, and we didn't buy any in St. John. So yep, we're on our way home. Long drive today, long drive tomorrow. I'll be glad to get home. So we are leaving New Brunswick and we're coming into the province of Quebec. So we're nearing a little bit slower, but eventually we are going to hit civilization, which is Ontario. Oh, I know there'll be some of you that will have comments about that. But here we go. We are now in La Belle Province, Quebec. Aren't we excited? A little bit of the scenery in Quebec that I could not take pictures of last time because we were on the opposite side of the road and couldn't get this. But some lakes in here. And trees, of course, but here in a second you're going to see. There we go. Can't see the lake for the trees. Right, should come up here now. There we go. There's a shot. So that's very picturesque. Just over here. Actually, I think when we were coming the opposite way before, leading into New Brunswick, I think we were in rain
Yeah, I think so.
at that point. So,
It was also smoky, remember?
oh yeah, it was very smoky. So that looks like that's all gone now. We missed the smoke in Ontario. Some more landscape in Quebec.
No, I think that's the St. Lawrence, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's now the St. Lawrence. And you can't see it for the trees. But it is out there somewhere. There it is.
In the Appalachian Mountains.
In the Appalachians. Okay, we're going back into Quebec City, or across the river actually, towards Quebec City, and we're taking the old bridge this time. Before we took the newer bridge over on the other side. We're on our way to our hotel in St. Foy, which is a suburb of Quebec City. Okay, so we got into our hotel room here, and this place is a little weird getting around in it. It's sort of a up and down around the stairs. It reminds me of that painting by, I don't know who it is, with all the staircases that go in a maze in different directions. And that, it's kind of like that. Walter right now is looking at the menu for the restaurant that's here, because it's attached to the hotel, because we did not know that the street outside this hotel, which is a main thoroughfare, is all under construction. It's just a mess out there. Not only that, but there's some rooms here or something they're doing to the hotel as well. None of that was listed when Walter booked for this. But anyways, we have figured out how to get in here, and it's one night only. The room itself is okay. It reminds me of a room in the Alt Hotel at the Toronto Pearson Airport, in sort of the minimalistic kind of style, which again, I don't care because we're only here for one night. It's clean, it's comfortable, it's got what we need, bathroom, that kind of stuff. They have this little tricky device here, it's the lights. But it's the lights over here you see glowing underneath, just over the bed. Well, it's a remote control for turning those on and off, but there's other buttons here. So I assumed they turned on some of the buttons in the ceiling, or the lights in the ceiling. There's some pot lights here, but no, those are operated by a switch by the door. So, and yes, and we have a peekaboo window into the bathroom right here with a blind on it. So everybody loves a peekaboo window into the bathroom, don't they? So yeah, a little different. It is called, what's this hotel called, Walter?
Hotel Courtier.
Courtier, Hotel Courtier in St. Foy, which is a suburb of Quebec City. I mean, it's pretty much not too far from the main Quebec City part here as well. King size bed. So I do like their plugins for equipment because there are lots of them on either side of the bed, so all of our stuff can get in there. Counter space in the bathroom, as you know, I have a thing about counter space around the sink, is a little slim, but I managed to get my stuff all on there. So, okay, so that's where we are tonight. We're going to eat, as I said, in the hotel restaurant, which is attached to it. I took a quick peek inside the door of it, looked kind of nice, and Walter's been checking the menu, and it looks like there's a good selection and not too bad price-wise. Okay, so we're in our hotel here in Quebec, and we're having dinner at the restaurant called Barbie's in it as well. Actually, the prices are not bad, and their selection's not bad. We'll see what the food's like when we get it. But here's a little idea of what it looks like. Wine wall over there. And light. It's hard to, I don't want to stand up and take a shot of this because, you know, might upset some people. Like, Walter looks enthused, doesn't he?
Well, I drove a whole long time today.
Actually, we were in the car so long today, when we got out, we felt like we had just gotten off a ship. You know, that feeling, if you've ever been on a cruise ship or something for a few days and you get off, you kind of like haven't got your land legs yet. It's kind of weird. But anyways, so here we are. Of course, we're having our usual. And we're having hamburger steak, which is basically Salisbury steak, I think. But I like Salisbury steak, so we'll see how that is. So we finished dinner and it was pretty good. And what we're doing now is just laying about, watching television, and getting ready for the final leg of our journey back home. So, and that will take care of the end of our East Coast adventure. Be sure to tune in to Stephen and Walter live this week because we'll probably talk about a few other things that we didn't talk about on these videos and do a kind of a recap of everything that we explored and saw and how we felt about things and stuff like that. So we'll see you then. Bye.